Imagine waking up one day and realizing the person you married, the mother of your children, was sneaking out, lying to your face and cheating behind your back. Now imagine quietly gathering every bit of evidence and then dropping a truth bomb so powerful it destroys the life of the man she cheated with. His job, his marriage, his house, gone. Sounds brutal? Oh, trust me, this story is the definition of satisfying revenge. If you've ever been lied to, manipulated, or betrayed by someone you trusted, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready. Because this isn't just a revenge story. This is what happens when karma shows up wearing steel-toed boots. All right, let me take you back to the early 2000s. My wife and I had been married for several years. We had 2 little kids, 4 and 6 years old. Life wasn't perfect, but it felt stable. Or at least, I thought it was. But slowly, something started to feel off. My kids, innocent and talkative at that age, kept mentioning that they spent a lot of time at my wife's parents' house. Now, that wouldn't be strange. Except, her parents lived 90 minutes away. And my wife was going 2, sometimes 3 times a week. Every time she didn't have a shift at her part-time job, she was suddenly visiting her parents. And my gut just wouldn't shut up about it. So one night, I asked her casually, "Hey, why are you going to your parents' place so often?" And her answer, a shaky voice, no eye contact, over-explaining, changing details. She was a terrible liar. And I knew something was going on. But I didn't want to explode without proof. So I did something simple. I started tracking the mileage on her car. Every week, the odometer went up by hundreds of miles. Extra miles. Miles she couldn't explain. Miles she didn't even try to explain. That was the moment I knew, without a doubt, my marriage was in trouble. But the universe gave me the final push. One afternoon, she left her AOL password on a sticky note right beside the computer, almost like a divine invitation. My hands were shaking when I typed it in. And then, the emails appeared. She had been emailing her college best friend. And right there, in black and white text, was everything. She was sleeping with her ex-boyfriend from high school. Not just flirting, not talking. Straight up bragging about the affair, mocking his wife for getting fat after kids. Imagine reading that about the woman you share a home with, the mother of your children. I felt like someone had kicked me in the chest. But still, I kept calm. I printed every email, filed it away, and told myself, you need the whole story before you act. So I called a friend who was a police officer. He gave me the number of a private investigator, a former cop named Ron. And let me tell you, Ron was worth every dollar. I paid the retainer, gave him the emails, told him everything I knew. And in less than 2 weeks, he gave me a full report. Pictures, dates, times, locations. My wife's routine was sickening in its simplicity. Drop the kids at her parents', meet her high school ex for lunch, go to a cheap motel for 2 hours, pick the kids back up, come home like nothing happened. I stared at those photos for hours. Not crying, not yelling, just empty. That's when I decided I refuse to let my kids grow up in the same broken environment I did. My parents cheated on each other, and the aftermath damaged my entire childhood. I wasn't going to repeat that cycle. So I hired a divorce lawyer. But I wasn't done. I asked Ron to dig into the guy, my wife's affair partner. And wow, This is where the revenge truly begins. His name was Bob, married, 3 kids, and he worked as a VP of sales at his father-in-law's company. Let that sink in. He was cheating on the woman whose father gave him a job in the house her parents owned. Ron handed me everything I needed, and all I said was, "I'll need a few more copies of your report and one more favor." Now, here's how the plan unfolded. On a random weekday morning, my lawyer served my wife the divorce papers at her job. She went pale, shaking, probably realizing every lie she told, every girl's day, every trip to my mom's was exposed. But the real surprise wasn't for her. It was for Bob. On the exact same day, at the exact same hour, Ron met Bob's wife. He showed her everything: pictures, dates, times, locations. She broke down crying. Not because she was weak, but because her entire world had been built on a lie. What she did next was entirely her choice. But my God, she delivered justice better than I ever could have. Within 24 hours, she emptied their joint bank account, took their 3 kids, went straight to her father, and told him everything. Her father owned the company Bob worked for, and the house they lived in. By the end of the week, Bob was fired, evicted, served with divorce papers. He tried to confront her at the house, screaming and yelling, until her brother stepped in. Bob walked away with a broken nose and a restraining order. Police reports, criminal charges, jail time, court battles. His entire life collapsed like a house of cards. Meanwhile, my divorce was calm, civil, because, honestly, I didn't need to fight anymore. I focused on my kids, made sure they grew up safe, happy, protected from the toxicity I experienced as a child. My ex-wife and I only communicated about the kids. No personal conversations, no arguments, no rekindling. And when the kids grew up, I cut contact completely. Not out of hate, but out of closure. She was the mother of my children, and that's the only context she still exists in for me. As for Bob, he vanished. No social media, no professional trail. Rumor is he left the state and never rebuilt his life. And his ex-wife? She ended up running her father's company after he retired. Seems life treated her far more kindly. The day I finally signed my divorce paperwork, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt free, like someone had unlocked a door I was trapped behind for years. But the real satisfaction wasn't my divorce. It was watching the man who thought he could sneak into my life and tear my family apart lose everything he valued. Not because I attacked him, not because I confronted him, but because the truth finally caught up to him. Sometimes karma doesn't whisper. Sometimes it brings a bulldozer. If this story made you clench your jaw or whisper, "He deserved it," smash that like button. Tell me in the comments, what would you have done in my place? And of course, subscribe for more real-life stories where karma doesn't just knock, it kicks the whole door down.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.